Makes it a nickel. A nickel of wins. Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before but have not subscribed yet, please do so. We're trying to get to 10,000. We're so close. We're over 9,500 right now. Let's do it. Let's do it by the end, before the playoffs start. Let's get that 10K. Would love that. Also, hit the thumbs up button for me. Share the video and drop your comments. I love to hear your thoughts and feelings about all this. Like I always say, you guys are my collaborators on this. Sometimes I miss stuff, and I enjoy reading all of the comments. They really help inform me. Man. Oh, if you're a Knicks fan and you're watching this, you have to be, giddy right now. I mean, I am absolutely. I went out the window last Saturday when we beat the Kings. I went out the window, and some were a little like, "Hey, what happened?" I thought you were gonna go crazy after beating Memphis. And you know what? I wanted to reserve that kind of energy and attitude for continued success, because that's how much I believe in this team. And what they're doing right now is verifying all of the ceiling that I saw for this team, which basically there is no ceiling. This team can win the NBA championship this season. What was annoying me was discussions, maybe next year, or, the defense, or all this. Now, the offense that the New York Knicks can put out on the floor every single night is the best offense in the NBA. It is. And it will be, by the end of this season, it will be the official number one offense. Right now it's number two behind Cleveland. And not in terms of actual points scored per game, but in terms of efficiency and offensive rating, the Knicks will, because they play too slow a pace. But look at this. They scored 122 tonight. They have scored. All right, we're going to get into this. We got highlights. I got the breakdowns. I got everything. If you're a Knicks fan, this is where you want to be. This is the best place for Knicks post-game or any kind of discussion whatsoever, anywhere you can find. Thank you for joining me here. Let's get to it. Knicks defeated the Denver Nuggets to sweep the season series 122-112. And OG Anunoby dunking right there got us off to a great start in that first quarter. But man, it was Jalen Brunson in the third quarter who rang up 18 points against the Denver Nuggets to steady the ship, because the Nuggets took the lead in the third quarter. They had an 8-point lead at one time, but that was a quarter of runs. The Nuggets got out and they got out to a 9-0 run right in the beginning of the quarter. And then the Knicks went on. Then it was like a little back and forth. The Knicks went on a run, and then the Nuggets kind of fought back, but the Knicks closed that quarter beautifully to end up winning that quarter. Nobody won a quarter. No team won a quarter by more than 4 points tonight. That's how tight it was. But yet the final score is double digits. Because I'll tell you, the Knicks just have another gear. And part of that gear is Jalen Brunson. When the captain is feeling good and feeling his oats, and he wants to see himself on a Wheaties box, he takes over. He doesn't let the team flounder. And that's what he did tonight. Outstanding effort by Jalen Brunson. Fantastic for him. We're going to get into, let's keep going right here. Before we get to that, this is truly something. It's never happened in Knicks franchise history. The Knicks just scored the most points in a 3-game stretch in franchise history. Yes. Hey, NBA, do you believe in the Knicks yet? Now, if they had done this back in December, right, they'd be saying, oh, well, that was inferior quality. They did this to the Kings, they did this to Memphis, and they did this to Denver. This is truly an outstanding never done before. Never done before in franchise history. Do you believe yet? Do you believe this team can win it all? I do. I've known it for a while. And then when they play like idiots, or they come out in a fog, or not prepared like they did in Utah, it just bothers me so much because I know the greatness that this team has. And that was even before they even figured out the defensive end. The offense clicked instantly for this team, and now it's even getting better. The most points scored in a 3-game stretch in franchise history. I cannot repeat that enough. Outstanding. Now, the national media is looking at us. Hoop Central. This is a great. I actually follow them. They're a great account. True or false? The Knicks are the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. Absolutely. Bang. The big T. True. Yes, they are the best team right now, and Cleveland knows it, and the Celtics know it. It's going to be interesting in February when we play them. It's going to be very interesting. But Monday, we have a huge game against Houston. The Houston Rockets game is going to be monstrous. Today, I rewatched that game, the first game we played against them, which was the night before we all went to vote. That's how long ago it was. I feel like it was a completely different world, and it was. And the Knicks were right there. But I'll tell you, they look like a totally different team now. I was like, when I was watching that game back in November 4th, I was like, wow, who is this team? Totally different. They're so connected now. They have so much cohesion. They have so much confidence and belief in each other. It's a beautiful result. Beautiful result. And that is why they are the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. I'm curious to see when the power rankings come out. The next set of power rankings, The Athletic do it, ESPN does it. I'm expecting the Knicks to be number 1, maybe number 2, behind OKC. But they have risen. They have shown that they are a team to not be overlooked in any way, shape, or form. And it's a beautiful sight, man. It's a beautiful sight. Even ESPN is noticing. Even ESPN, the ones who like hashtag LOL Knicks, the ones that they'd laugh and mock us for years. Look what they're posting now on their social media accounts. Knicks hit a home run with this signing. Look at that. What he did for Dallas in 277 games for Dallas, he averaged 11.9 points per game, 37% from the three-point line, 3.7 assists per game. Now, he wasn't a starter that whole time. Obviously, he was playing behind Luka. But look what he's doing with the Knicks. In less games, 191, he's averaging 26.3 points per game. This is his entire career as a Knick. 41% from the three-point line, 6.7 assists. But what he did tonight is a whole other fucking level. Whole other level. Let's gas it. Let's gas it. Let's gas it up. Here we go. Look what he... Oh, wait. I wasn't... This is what I wanted to show you. Jalen Brunson registered 30 points and 15 assists tonight against Denver. He joins Richie Guerin, Walt Frazier, and Nate Robinson as the only Knicks to accomplish this ever. Down below, Brunson also recorded 30 points and 10-plus assists for the 11th time as a Knick, which ties Richie Guerin for the most games in franchise history. We're talking legendary status here. That's what we're reaching now. Now, none of this is nice. This is all nice. But if we don't get that parade, this will just be nice. But I think it's going to happen. Now, back to this. Fred Katz tweeted this out, and I totally 100% agree with what he's saying here because I saw it when I watched the Houston game. The Knicks are flat out a better defensive team today than they were a month or two ago. That was back November 4th. They've been really hot at points this season, but these last 3 games is their best two-way stretch of the year, in my opinion. Well, guess what, Fred Katz? I will totally verify that. Absolutely 100% agree with that statement. Look at this. The Knicks this season are now 19-1 when they get 30 or more assists in a game. 19-1. 30 assists. So when they share, sharing is caring, as Clyde would say. When they're sharing, they're getting dubs. They're annihilating. When they're sharing, they're annihilating. That's what they're doing. 19-1. That is an outstanding record. Got to keep it going. I don't know why StatMuse is from StatMuse, why they showed Landry Shamet of all people there, which I think is kind of hilariously random, but we'll take it. Shout out to StatMuse. All right, New York basketball tweeted this out. Other than a game he was ejected in the first quarter, Nikola Jokic hasn't gone 17-6-6 or less in 5 seasons till tonight. Defense! And Karl Anthony Towns, I got to say, is the perfect foil for Joker because he can stretch the floor. Joker's having a historic season right now, statistically. But tonight, look what happened. He was made to look like a mortal because Karl Anthony Towns is playing probably, I can't say it, in terms of his whole career because I haven't really watched him that much to make a comment like that. But I will say this. He's playing his best defense he has ever played as a Knick right now. And that is a result. All right, we got stats. Let's get to... before we get to the highlights, let's get to this. I want to show you guys this. This is Josh Hart being interviewed after the game.
What does it mean to win these games with defense, with ferocity, with unselfishness?
Yeah, it's huge. I said it before, we got to be a team that's egoless. And don't run with it. That's just, in general, as a blanket
Don't run
statement.
with it.
That's what we got to do. So obviously we want to get started.
Josh, what does it mean to win these games with defense, with ferocity, with unselfishness?
Yeah, it's huge. I said it before, we got to be a team.
All right. So you heard him. He said egoless. Now, I think he was using that word in a very finessed way when he originally made his comments. I don't really think he meant anyone specifically putting themselves above the team. But sometimes you can make a choice, a decision that isn't for the betterment of the team. And that's why egoless means only play for the team to win. Do whatever you can on that court and off the court so that the team can thrive. That's what he meant, and tonight it happened. Beautifully done. There it is. OG Anunoby got the Knicks off to a great start in the beginning. The Knicks won the first quarter. They were once up by 13 points in that third quarter. First quarter. We were up by 13 points, and I thought, we're going to run away with it. And Denver kept clawing back, even though Joker got into foul trouble, had to leave the game. The bench came in. The Denver bench came in and gave the Knicks some trouble. OG, look at those beautiful backdoor cuts. That was a fantastic pass right there. I think we're up 10 here. I think we get it up to 13 at one point. It might even be here. Or there's up 12. But Denver kept sticking around. They got it up to 27 points. We had 31. We were only a +4 going into the second quarter right there. Now, in that first quarter, it was nice balanced scoring for the Knicks. 8 points for OG, 8 points for Brunson, 4 points for Towns. Mikal Bridges he hit a three-pointer. Even though he was only 1 for 5 overall from the field, he was 1 for 2 from the three-point line. It was a big three-point line. He played almost the entire first quarter. He played 11 minutes and 28 seconds in that first quarter. Precious Achiuwa came in, gave us some nice big minutes, got 4 points. Though that bench unit did let the Nuggets crawl back into the game. Precious was a -6 in that first quarter. Deuce was a -2. Cam Payne was a -4. And Landry Shamet, he only played 32 seconds in that quarter. I'm not going to get on him for that. But Josh Hart, in his 9 minutes, only attempted 1 shot in this game. He did go to the free throw line, but he missed. The Knicks were 4 of 8 from the free throw line in that first quarter, and that's what kind of allowed the Nuggets to still stick around. I was hoping that we create some distance. They could never do it. Now, look, they're a great team, but look, the Nuggets scored. They were 1 of 6 in that first quarter, so they were struggling as well. But then when the second quarter came around, the New York Knicks were able to at least get some more good balanced scoring. There's Josh Hart, finally got a couple of buckets. He had 6 points in that second quarter. Precious, get this. Precious played the entire second quarter. Now, mostly that was because Karl Anthony Towns got into some foul trouble. He had picked up 2 fouls, or maybe even 3. So, and, Precious, he showed some nice things in that first quarter, and Thibs chose to stick with him. So he ended up playing the entire second quarter, which I was shocked to see that. He picked up 2 points, 1 steal, and 1 rebound. Nothing spectacular stat line wise, but what he did was get Cat some rest, and Cat needed it because he was messing with his left hand now. He was like flicking it, and he was hurting it. It was bothering him, and the 3-point shot wasn't there for Cat early in this game, as opposed to the game against Memphis. That was crucial when he hit that. But once again, OG Anunoby 2 for 2 in the second quarter, 6 points for him. He finished the first half with 14 points. And Jalen, he was the leading scorer for the Knicks with 14 points. Tying him for the game was Jamal Murray with 14 points himself. He was 5 of 11. But we had Brunson come in with 12 buckets for him. 4 of 7 from the field. One only took 2 3-point shots. The Knicks had only attempted 14 3-point shots in that first half. Oh, here we're in the third quarter now. 6 of 14. They shot 43% from the 3-point line in that second quarter, and shot 52.2% overall. Then when it came down to the third quarter was a battle once again. Remember what I said earlier? No team won any quarter by more than 4 points. So this was another one. The Knicks let the Denver Nuggets get an 8-point lead, but then came rushing back to close the quarter by actually winning the third quarter itself. It was a tremendous effort, and it was done because of Jalen Big Body Brunson, as Kendrick Perkins would refer to him. The Brunson burner turned it up to high. He turned the heat up high. He was cooking. He was 6 of 8, 2 of 3 from the 3-point line. Hit all 4 of his free throws. Got 2 assists, 18 points for Mr. Jalen Brunson, the captain, in that crucial third quarter. And OG Anunoby follows up with 6 points again, contributing 6 points. And that was pretty much it. Everybody else, like Hart had 2, Towns had 2, Precious had 2, and Bridges. Mikal Bridges hit a 3-pointer. It was 1 of 2 in that third quarter, but it was basically, they fed, everything was all off of Jalen Brunson in that third quarter. Then the fourth quarter began, and the Knicks had built up a nice little lead, but they let the Nuggets crawl back in. You can see they got to within 4 points in that fourth quarter, and then the foot went on the gas. It just floored it, and that Knicks offense just took off. And look at it, they built up a 12-point lead. Beautifully done. And again, it was done with very balanced scoring. 3 points for OG, 6 for Hart, 6 for Towns, 5 for Mikal Bridges. No points for Jalen Brunson in that fourth quarter. It wasn't needed. But OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges played all 12 minutes of that fourth quarter once again. So, Thibs only went 8 deep tonight, but he was able to manage to get some nice rest for the players throughout the game. Again, I just wish his rotations were more in line with what was happening. Oh, I wonder what was happening in the Memphis game as well. But look at this play here. Look at this. Beautifully done. I love when just a possession just turns into a fast break, because Josh Hart, he has such great speed. His bursts are fabulous. I think Josh Hart probably would have been an outstanding NFL player. He probably would have been one of the best players in the NFL. Whether he was a receiver or a defensive back, whatever it was, he would have been one of the best players in the NFL, no doubt in my mind. New York Knicks win 122-112. Let's get back to the stats. Actually, we're going to look at these here. You can see for the game, Mikal Bridges finished with 13 points, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds, 3 of 7 from the 3-point line. But OG Anunoby was the man today. 5 of 7 from the 3-point line, 9 of 15 overall in his 39 minutes of play. 23 points for him, 4 boards, 1 assist. The New York Knicks, 33 assists as a team, 14 points for Karl Anthony Towns, 10 rebounds. He had a double-double. 0 for 4 from the 3-point line. That hand is still bothering him. And then I was kind of hoping, man, maybe they can work something out where he barely plays in the All-Star game. He gets to go out, he starts, plays a little bit here and there, but we don't need him to be aggravating our hand. That hand needs to rest. That's the only opportunity that he has right now to get some rest without missing actual real games. So let's hope that happens. Brunson, 36 minutes of play, 10 of 16, 3 of 6 from the three-point line, 15 assists, 30 points. Incredible stat line right there. Double-double for him. Josh Hart with his 15 points, 7 of 12. He attempted 2 threes, didn't hit it, but got 5 assists and 5 rebounds for him. And Precious Achiuwa played 26 minutes, and Deuce McBride played 22 minutes. Beautifully done. The bench contributed 27 points tonight. We'll take it. 12 points for Deuce. He was 2 of 5 from the three-point line. At one point, I was watching the ESPN broadcast, and Jay Billis was complaining that Deuce took a 3 early. Oh, I don't think that was a good one. And then he came back down and almost took the same exact type of 3, and he buried it. So, it's like, Jay, it's the modern NBA, man. It's the modern NBA. Get with it. And Deuce picked up 4 assists. Landry Shamet had 1 assist in his 5 minutes of play. Campaign, his energy is always good. Wasn't a great game for him, but he did pick up 3 rebounds in his 12 minutes of play. The bench did a nice job getting some rebounds. Right here, what am I seeing? 9 rebounds for the bench. Well done. Though the Knicks, rebounding-wise, they got beat today by Denver. But meanwhile, they still won the game. Beautifully done. 41.2% the Knicks shot from the three-point line. 51.6% overall. Look at those numbers. That's outstanding numbers. As a team, those are like legendary numbers as a player. A 50, 40, 90 guy, those are legendary numbers. And they're doing it as a team right now. That's how incredible an offense they are. And yet the defense stood up tonight, and the defense got stops. Got stops when they needed it. Karl Anthony Towns got a huge block on, who was that? Was it, I forgot who it was. I think maybe Russell Westbrook. In a key moment in that fourth quarter, that is the big difference between this team now and the team that I just saw in November today against the Houston Rockets, where a team that could not get stops when they needed it. Karl Anthony Towns came through, and the whole team right now have upped their defensive output tremendously right now. And this is to show you guys, this is in the last 4 games. I tweeted this out today. This is before today's game, so now they're 5-0. The Knicks, in the last 4 games, the Knicks are the hottest team in the NBA. They're 4-0, actually now 5-0. They're first in offensive rating, a 124.4. 7th in defensive rating, a 107.5. Now, the reason that's significant is because for majority of the season, they were hovering around like 15th in the NBA, 18th in the NBA, 14th in the NBA. Now they've jumped up to 7th in the last 4 or 5 games. So that just shows that they're starting to be more connected, like they said. Like you saw in those post-game interviews, if you got to watch Cat and them, they're understanding when to take risks defensively and when not to. That has made a major difference. And when to help and when not to. Loving it. We're loving that. First in the net rating, a 17 plus 17. First in points scored, 126. And remember, Memphis was the number 1 team in points scored. So now the Knicks are. But this is just in the last 4 games, and not including tonight. Tonight, it would change alter the stats a little bit, but they would still be leading in most of these categories that are leading currently right now. And they're plus 18.3 in plus minus. The New York offense has made a leap to elite, while the defense has steadily improved. Now, I do want to point out the Toronto Raptors also won their 5th game in a row tonight. And this was before tonight's game. So they're 4-0. Remember I said to you, keep an eye out for the Raptors. If you guys have watched this channel, you know that I said that. Keep an eye out for the Raptors. When they get healthy, they're going to be an interesting team. They're going to surprise a few people. So keep an eye out for that. Look at the OKC and Timberwolves right there, and the Indiana Pacers are coming as well. Which is why it's beautiful that the Knicks are. It's like, if you smoke meat, if you know how to if you're a barbecue guy, a smoker, it takes a long time to get that beautiful tender where the meat just pulls off the bone, and it just has that juiciness, that deliciousness, and it has the bark on the outside just perfectly. It's taken like 3 months, 3.5 months. Where were we at? October, November, December, 3.5 months to make this happen. Well, it's finally happened. It just took a while. And now we are seeing a New York Knicks team that has a balanced defense, a very balanced offense, an explosive elite offense. Let's just be realistic here. But now their defense is rising. Love it. Here are the plus-minus points. You can see the number one player in plus-minus for the Knicks was Jalen Brunson with a plus 16 to go along with his 30 points. OG Anunoby was a plus 15 tonight. OG, I'll tell you, I know Brunson was the star of the game, but OG was the co-star of this game for sure. Josh Hart, plus 11 for him, plus 7 for Bridges. Towns was a -1. Now, that was because he had to sit out for a while, and the minutes that he was playing with the bench, and the bench in that second quarter did let Denver creep back in the game, and the same thing kind of happened in the third quarter. Deuce, plus 9. Precious, a plus 4. All right, now let's look at the Denver Nuggets stats. I guess they made Nikola Jokic look like a mortal. 17 points for him, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 15 points for Aaron Gordon, 14 points for Russell Westbrook, 0 for 2 from the three-point line, but he did pick up 14 rebounds. So 14 points and 14 rebounds for Russ. And Jamal Murray, who at one point I thought was going to take over this game, especially when was that? In the third quarter? Let me see. I think that was the third quarter. Jamal Murray, yeah, he had 12 points in that third quarter. But we had someone who was better. We had Jalen Brunson, who had 18 in that third quarter. Here are the team stats right here. The New York Knicks, like I said, shot 51.6%. Denver shot 48.8%, which is really good overall. But the three-point line was the story here. The New York Knicks connected on 14 of 34 for a 41.2% three-point shooting. Meanwhile, the Nuggets could only connect on 10 of 28. They only even attempted 28 three-pointers, which is not a good strategy in terms of if you want to win a game in today's NBA. But they shot 35.7%. They did connect on 20 of 23 from the free throw line, 87%. The Knicks were horrific from the three-point line today. This could have been a bigger blowout if the Knicks had been hitting their free throws earlier on. Could have given them some more breathing room. 66.7% from the free throw line for them. And they got out-rebounded, 47-35. The offensive rebounding was a -5 for the Knicks. And same with the defensive rebound. It was a -7 for the Knicks. But when it comes to assists, the Knicks out-rebounded the Nuggets by 12. They got 7 steals. There were -3 in blocks, but in turnovers, the Knicks only had 2 turnovers in the first half. Finished this game with just 6 turnovers. They protected the ball beautifully and only gave up 3 points off of their turnovers, but they gained 23 points off of the Denver turnovers. That's a plus 20 right there. Beautifully done. Excuse me. Fast break points, Knicks once again showing the league that they may be slow in pace, but that is don't sleep on us, because we will burn your ass with those beautiful long outlet passes that Karl-Anthony Towns throws. The whole team is looking for people leaking out. And today, it used to be Obi. Obi used to be the guy who leaked out. Now we're seeing Josh Hart leak out. We're seeing OG Anunoby leak out. Mikal Bridges leak out. And we're seeing both Brunson and Towns looking for them immediately when they pick up an offensive rebound, or they get a nice defensive stop, or a deflection, a steal, any kind of turnover that they cause. They're just sending that ball deep, and we're getting easy buckets. Love it. The New York Knicks were a +7 in fast break points tonight. Points in the paint, 60-52. Knicks led that, +8. And they only committed 16 fouls, even though the Nuggets did go to the free throw line a lot more than they did. The largest lead the Knicks had tonight was 12, and the largest lead the Denver Nuggets had was 8. All right. Do you believe? Do you believe yet? Oh, man. Oh. This It's been a shitty 13 months for me. But I'll tell you, nights like this really help. This is why I love sports. This is my team. I mean, I literally bleed orange and blue. And the fact that they're playing up to the level that I knew they could play is just what. And I think they have even another gear. That's the other thing. I think they have another gear, which is why I do believe the Knicks are the best team in the Eastern Conference right now at the moment. And then they're going to prove it on Saturday. They're going to host the Lakers, LeBron, and they're going to beat the fuck out of the Lakers. They're going to beat them. And then we got on Monday the Houston Rockets. This is a great stretch. This is a period of time where the Knicks are making huge statements right now. They are making a major statement. We are here. We are for real. And if you want to beat us, you have to we will not give it to you anymore. We're not going to pull up and do a Utah or a Minnesota game. You're going to have to take this away from us. And that's what I'm loving. And we're talking about a team that's not even 100% healthy. There's guys nursing this, nursing that. You see Cat with the cupping. He's, and he's got the fingers taped up and he's like, grimacing. And yet we are annihilating top tier type of teams. Beautiful. What more could we want? The ring. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We're going to win this fucking thing. We're going to win this fucking championship. I can feel it. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait for the playoffs. All right. Thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe. Please share the video. Drop your comments and hit the thumbs up button. Appreciate all your support. I really appreciate all your support, you guys. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's go fucking Knicks. Let's go. And I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.